Filming for the Batman sequel is starting on November 23rd, as announced by executive producer Michael Uslan. This implies that full-scale production will kick off just 2 weeks later. In a recent interview, Robert Pattinson mentioned that the Warner Brothers and Matt Reeves demanded more muscle mass from him than in the first movie. This decision makes sense considering the upcoming sequel is a direct continuation of Bruce Wayne's storyline. In the finale, Wayne realizes that vengeance is not the sole means of crime fighting. In the initial dark and Fincher-inspired movie, the iconic vigilante confronts the Riddler, who embarks on a ruthless killing spree targeting corrupt members of the Gotham Council and authorities. While the Bat solidifies his role as a hero to the citizens, he doesn't necessarily save the day. By the film's conclusion, Riddler's explosive reign of terror leaves the city forever altered. Now he has evolved into a true defender of Gotham with a glimmer of hope in his heart. This transformation will serve as the central plot line for the sequel. So, we'll witness a more morally mature Batman, someone who has managed to overcome or at least control his internal struggles and wrath. Matt Reeves is returning as the director, and the entire film crew that worked on the first part is making a comeback. With the project in the hands of the OG creators, there's no need to worry about drastic changes on set. The Batman Part 2 has the green light to kick off production ASAP.
If you like the video, support us by subscribing. Related, Barry Keoghan addresses the Batman Part 2 return as Joker. Reeves revealed cinemagoers can expect to see the beloved DC vigilante wrestling with his views on justice in the Batman Part 2 as he reflects on the rights and wrongs in society. There's a lot of unrest and there's a lot of clamoring because of the revelations of what we find out at the end of the first movie, he teased. There's unrest in the streets to say, well, how could this be? The idea that this corruption extends as deep as it extends. In the first movie, Batman views things very simplistically, he sees things in black and white. What he can represent and how he can affect that. Related, Best Film and TV Tours for 2024. As we enter into the next movie, there's a lot more gray, Reeves continued. There's a lot more people at odds. There's a lot more division in the city. It's a lot more like our world is now. There's a lot of turmoil because people are in their camps and they're not communicating. How does Batman fit into that? Where do you fit? It's not as clear as going, oh yeah, bad guy, I go after bad guys. And when things are in gray, it makes it very hard to be Batman, so this is part of the challenge as we enter it. Related, Colin Farrell shares the Batman Part 2 update. Reeves went on to explain how the chaos brewing on the streets of Gotham in HBO's The Penguin will also build into the conflict in the next film. The director previously explained why Batman didn't intervene in The Penguin, despite the show being set directly after the events of the first film. Batman's out there trying to grapple with the aftermath of everything that happened, which to some degree he blames himself for, he said. The Penguin airs on Max in the US, and now in Sky Atlantic in the UK. The Batman is available to buy now on 4K Blu-ray, standard Blu-ray, and DVD. Read more Batman news on our dedicated homepage. Batman, The Enemy Within is an episodic point-and-click graphic adventure video game developed and published by Telltale Games and distributed by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment under its DC Entertainment label, based on the DC Comics character Batman. The game is a sequel to 2016's Batman, the Telltale series. It received positive reviews, and is viewed as an improvement over the original, with the game's depiction of the Joker being highly praised by many. Though Telltale Games shut down in 2018, the licenses for the Batman and The Enemy Within games were acquired by Athlon Games, and both games were re-released by LCG Entertainment under a new Telltale Games label as the combined Shadows Edition in December 2019. Batman, The Enemy Within received generally positive reviews and is considered to be an improvement over its predecessor, earning praise for its story, choices, action sequences, and the portrayal of the Batman mythos. Batman, Arkham City is a 2011 action-adventure game developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. If you like the video, support us by subscribing. Robert Pattinson's The Batman sequel is dealing with the toughest villain of all, the writer's block. DC studio co-chief James Gunn confirmed Friday that writer, director Matt Reeves, The Batman 2, starring Pattinson will move its release date again, now a year later, from October 2, 2026, to October 1, 2027. Gunn cited meticulous Reeves' quest for the perfect script as the reason for the hold-up on a Threads post. "The only reason for the delay is there isn't a full script," Gunn wrote. "Matt is committed to making the best film he possibly can, and no one can accurately guess exactly how long a script will take to write. Once there is a finished script, there is around 2 years for pre-production, shooting and post-production on big films." The much-anticipated sequel to Reeves' 2022 film starring Pattinson has already been delayed multiple times since being announced in 2022. Paul Dano's Riddler is locked away in Arkham Prison after the first movie, but Gotham has not recovered from the catastrophic flood the Riddler brought on the city's ravaged seawall, according to Reeves. "There's a lot of unrest and there's a lot of clamoring because of the revelations of what we find out at the end of the movie," Reeves said in a December 25 interview with Digital Spy. "As we enter into the next movie, there's a lot more gray. There are more people at odds and more division in the city. It's a lot more like our world is now. There's a lot of turmoil because people are in their camps and not communicating." According to The Hollywood Reporter, the untitled movie project from Alejandro González Iñárritu and Tom Cruise will fill the October 2, 2026 spot for Warner Bros. For Pattinson fans, some good news. The English Actors, Mickey 17 movie with filmmaker Bong Joon-ho now opens on March 7. Reeves and Tomlin are naturally keeping the sequel's script under wraps, but the director did offer some hints when speaking to Digital Spy this week. Though Paul Dano's Riddler is locked away in Arkham now, Gotham is facing a slow recovery from the catastrophic flood he caused by destroying the city's seawall. And according to Reeves, that's made things pretty complicated for Batman. In the first movie, Batman views things very simplistically, he sees things in black and white. What he can represent and how he can affect that, Reeves told Digital Spy. "As we enter into the next movie, there's a lot more gray. There's a lot more people at odds. There's a lot more division in the city. It's a lot more like our world is now. There's a lot of turmoil because people are in their camps and they're not communicating." Reeves added, "And when things are in gray, it makes it very hard to be Batman, so this is part of the challenge as we enter it." Thank you, subscribe for daily updates.